Hey friends, it's Russ here with an update on something I worked on, showed you the last time. If you remember this Model 102, number 30 or number 102, Model 36, we talked about how it needs to be refinished, how we made a new shot tube for it, and talked about replacing the stock. Now the stock that was on here was a right length and similar to what you might find on this gun, but I believe if you look at it, it came from, I believe, a toy gun, maybe an Annie Oakley, because it's white. And I don't believe they used white plastic stocks on this particular model, but it was just about the right size. So I wanted to replace this with something that would be more in line with what the gun may have had from the beginning. Ran into a couple problems. I looked through my extensive pile of stuff, we'll put it that way, and tried to find a stock that would fit it, either plastic or wood. So, first thing I came up with was a plastic stock, official Daisy stock, room to put the spring or springs in here. But if you look at it, you line the holes up so that the front of it fits the receiver properly. It's too short, because it has to maintain a certain distance, somewhere between the 31 and 32 inches, I believe, on this particular gun. So this was out. I did have a template. Now I bought a box full of stocks, roughed stocks made of oak from a fellow at a airgun show here about a year ago. And his son made up a bunch of these and actually had the templates inside. Now I could have used this and then started cutting it down and making what I needed, but to tell you the truth, I didn't want to start from scratch. I didn't want to have to go through all the trouble of finding the right piece of wood, cut this out, make the adjustments that he noted on here and so forth. This is a good template to use, but didn't really need to use it at this time. My next option was to use a Red Ryder stock. Now here's a Red Ryder stock. See, it has a nice imprint, actually has a nice grain to it and so forth. However, it's made for the curved lever. Not only that, but if you hold it up to the stock that was in the gun, you're going to see it's way too long. So besides having this underneath that the curved lever would have, it's also not the right length. So, not wanting to waste anything, I found an old Red Ryder stock that, if you remember, some of you folks might remember, back in the day they had trouble with a lot of these stocks that were a real heavy grain. This one has a beautiful grain to it. So what they did, they put these corrugated staples in here. Many of them still broke in spite of the staples. And so they needed repair. This one needed a little repair. It's not too awful bad. So what I did, I took this Red Ryder stock, cut it to the right length, removed the curvature on the bottom that would be for that curved cocking lever, sanded the whole thing down, and because it had such a nice grain to it, I didn't want to hide it under heavy stains, so I just took a little bit of light oil and rubbed into it. This thing was dry as a bone. It had been around for a million years. Don't know what all its life's history was, but I did like the look of it. Didn't want to waste it. It already came with the trigger spring, so I left that in there. Washed it all down with a little bit of light oil, let it absorb, and this is the finish that it has. It's also the right length for that particular gun. So it's a wooden stock, the right length, accommodates the straight lever now. I did notch this out a little bit. I wanted to use a 1/4-inch chisel and just work its way across. Didn't have one, so I made a chisel and took that out of there. Now it fits really well, and this gun is on its way to having a resemblance of what it looked like back in the day. Now this little void in here, we're lucky because the curvature of the existing receiver just about hides all of that. So I don't have too much to do on there. I may not do too much at all with it. So here's the stock made from an old model Daisy Red Ryder, and we were able to accommodate the length, accommodate the lever, and the unstained, finished look of the gun. There it is, folks. If you're following along with a lot of these videos, we hope you subscribe, leave some comments, give us a thumbs up. Let us know exactly what your thoughts are on some of these things, and if you've ever had any issues trying to replace old parts on some of these Daisy guns. All right, we'll see you next time. Have a good day.